Dun, 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 dun.
Looked like they knew what they were talking about.
Hello everyone, welcome back to Royalty Soaps. Because all of you enjoyed this video so much, I was like, hey, well I can do another soapy craft kit. If the soaps turn out well, I will add them to the Hall of Fame that sits behind me. And if they turn out poorly, we'll put them where they belong.
In the trash.
Why did I get this kit? I'll show you. First of all, it looked like there was kind of a wide variety of items, but when you flip it over and look on the back, I was like, whoa, that's actually a lot going on. There's soap frosting, there's cupcake soap bases. And I honestly don't think I have ever seen a kid's craft kit that had any sort of soap frosting in it. So I'm actually really excited about this. And I hope for the sake of all of the kids that may do this, that this works out well. This retails for $24.99, so it's actually on the higher end of price points when it comes to kid craft kits, which does actually make me feel a little bit more confident. Famous last words, am I right? Let's open it up and see what we have inside. Ooh, okay, so here's our little instruction booklet, and then we have some real soapy colors, a fork, some popsicle sticks. We have a little bit of glycerin soap wrapped up very nicely. It feels very hard. Then we have pigment soap. What on earth is pigment soap? What does that mean? Is this just to like make things opaque instead of clear? It's white melt and pour. Mixing cups, and these are actually fairly decent quality. I will actually keep these. Is this a soap mold that's also the packaging? That's very clever. I don't know if I've ever seen that done before, but having the soap mold built into the packaging you're already putting in a box is a great way to make use out of this single-use plastic. Okay, then we have another little mold. These are very teeny tiny cutie little soap shapes. And then we have a piping bag, a coupler, and a couple different piping tips, which is actually quite a lot of different items in here. Ooh, they actually have a $5 plays rebate in here as well. So you complete the form, then you get sent your $5 rebate check via mail in 10 to 12 weeks. I've never seen anybody do anything like that. That's wild. Okay, so first thoughts and impressions. This is not a lot of soap for a $24 kit. There are a lot of little like accessories and stuff, but the molds are made out of plastic, and it's the type of plastic that anytime you try to unmold anything, it pretty much breaks. And this is just such a tiny amount of soap. It's right around, I think, 7 or 8 ounces, which is, you know, you could probably get 2 full-size soaps. So for $24.99, that's really expensive. We'll see. I'm willing to give it a chance. Let's look at the instructions and how easy they are to understand. One thing that is super nice is that the ingredients are very easy to find so that you can check and see if you have any allergies. They also recommend doing patch testing, which is also really nice. And the instructions are extremely detailed and informative. Again, kind of a novelty for a kid's kit. They recommend heating things up in 10-second increments, which for this amount of soap, that might even be too long. You might start to get some burn off and like some boiling almost. But I'm glad to see they didn't go with the traditional melt 30 seconds, then take out, melt 30 more seconds, because things would absolutely be burnt and stinky. First thing we are going to make are the soap cupcakes. As I unwrap this, we're gonna see if the soap is pre-cut or if it's just pre-measured and then you get to cut it. I think that's what it is. I think it's pre-measured and then you cut it with a knife. Well, maybe not. Can I break it? No. Okay, you do have to cut it. But the soap is pre-scored, so you know exactly how much to put in. And that again is really nice, especially if you're working with younger people. You don't have a scale on hand, but also you don't want to just guess and run the risk of cutting too much or cutting too little. At this point, I will say I'm a little bit concerned as to how on earth we're going to be making soap frosting when we don't have anything besides just melt and pour. So stay tuned for that, I guess. Okay, let's cut off our 2 blocks of clear melt and pour. Gonna cut that there, and then I'm gonna cut it into 2 more pieces so it will melt faster. And then 1 block of our white. Boop. I'm also just realizing there's no fragrance. None? No fragrance at all for a cupcake soap? Ooh, that's definitely a mark against. That's kind of a crime. You can't do food and dessert soaps without having like a vanilla fragrance oil. Like that does feel like the bare minimum. Maybe the liquid colors are fragranced. Maybe the soap base itself is fragranced. No, definitely not. Worth a try. Okay, let's go heat this up in 5 to 10 second increments, and then we'll see how long it takes to melt. Okay, this took 20 seconds in my microwave. So I'm going to go ahead and add 1 drop of yellow. They said for a pale, like buttery lemon cake color, which is what I personally want. We'll see if they're right about the string. Oh yeah. That is very, very, very pigmented. That's a win. Oh my gosh, what is not a win is it leaking on my finger. Okay, well that is neither cute nor aesthetic. Let's fill up our little cupcakes. Okay, I have hit some instructions that are truly not that advisable. They said to put the mold in the freezer until the soaps are cold but not frozen, and then to pop them out very carefully. But I'm here to tell you that if you put melt and pour soap in the freezer or the refrigerator and it gets cold like that, as it cools down, it will start to sweat, and whatever you're trying to put on top of it will not adhere. So do not do that. Let the soap harden in a regular, like room temperature environment away from humidity, and that will give you the absolute best results, which means for a soap this size, I'm going to be waiting an hour. I know they're trying to like speed it up because it's a kid's craft kit, but it's probably just one of those things you have to do in increments. I've gone ahead and read through the rest of the instructions, and there are lots of different little soaps that you make before you make the whip soap to glue everything together. So instead of doing things out of order and making some soap, waiting for it all to set, and then making frosting every single time, I'm just gonna make all of the little soap bases, and then we'll make one batch of frosting at the end. Just gonna chop up some more soap. I should do all the yellow first and then come back and we'll do the red. I'm really excited about making the little jelly. And actually, I have let this soap sit for about 8 minutes, and I just gave it a little tap on the top. It's already super hard. It really won't even, it'll probably take 20 minutes at this point. I thought it was gonna be like a whole hour, but this is setting up really fast. For our layer cake and lemon macarons, we're gonna make this a little bit stronger. Okay, but this yellow color, it really is like no joke. Watch yourself. Okay, let's pour our little macarons first. Little more lemony, these macarons. And then also the layer cakes. I'm also going to make some little decorations because why not? Okay, that was too much, but it's okay. We can clean up some of this later. Okay, time to make the jelly. I'm excited about this one. It's really nice that they provided another beaker because now I don't have to wash this one. I can just use my empty one for the 2 different colors that I have. Okay, red, don't do to me what the yellow did. Okay, gonna be very, very, very careful this time. Please don't get all over me. Oh, see, I was ready that time. Be careful if you use these colors because they do leak. Okay, mix that up. Ooh, that is such a pretty like red jelly color. I'm gonna pour that in our little jelly mold. Oh my gosh, that's actually so gorgeous. Okay, let's let these sit for about 20 minutes. In the meantime, let's go ahead and assemble our frosting bag. Honestly, super cool that it comes with 2 different piping tips and a coupler. Oh wait, my bad, 3 different piping tips. And look, the tops are pre-snipped for you, so you don't even have to measure. Okay, well, admittedly, you may have to snip off a little more. That's so weird to have it pre-snipped, but not to the right size. We have our piping bag loaded up, ready to go, just as soon as all of our soaps are cool enough. 20 minutes later, pretty sure we can pop this out now, even if it is a little bit warm. And again, kind of worried about this. I can see why they said to put it in the freezer, but I really, really do not want them to start sweating and for the rest of the project to not stick together. So I'm going to try to do it without using the freezer. Okay, well, that's unfortunate. I don't think I'm going to be able to remove them without breaking the mold unless I use the freezer. Wham, wham. Again, silicone mold mold would have solved that problem, but I also recognize that people who put kits together are working within a budget and blah, blah, blah. They still have to make a profit. I'm just saying. The unbeatable $5 like cereal candle from Five Below had a silicone mold in it. Just saying. Okay, fresh out the freezer. I didn't want to do it, but I did it for you. Let's see if we can actually get these soapy soaps out. Okay, well, they are releasing a lot easier.
Looked like they knew what they were talking about.
Just gonna set our little cupcakes off the side. Yep, they do be coming right out, which is nice, admittedly. Little cake slice, little macaron. Okay, very good. Another little cake slice. Another macaron. Boop. And our jelly. Yes, the jelly. Ah, it's so cute. Okay, we're obsessed with the jelly. It's even better out of the mold. Okay, now it's time to do the first round of frosting. And to do this, I'm going to be adding water to the soap base. 20 milliliters of cold tap water, and then 3 blocks of clear soap. How is this going to work? Okay, we gotta try it. Boop, 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 boop. Let's put it in the microwave with the soap. Okay, everything has been melted down. Time to whip it for like 4 minutes with a fork. Ooh, we may be here a while. It may be longer than 4 minutes. I don't know. Also, funny enough, in the instructions, they were like, you know, whip it for 4 minutes or whatever. And then they have like a little bubble that's like,
not so runny now, is it?
like they all know that we're not gonna have faith in this working. Listen, the process of whipping a soap so that it fluffs up, you know, I've made melt and pour projects from, you know, Wholesale Supplies Plus or Nature's Garden where the same thing is true, but most of the time you use a mixer to do it, which of course takes a lot less time. I'm already at minute number 3. Not seeing a lot of action here. I may have to like hold this, like put a little elbow grease into it. Man, where's Coconut Mall when you need it? I can just like de-stress and dun 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 dun. Well, this is not thickening up. It's just not. I'm gonna keep going, but it's not working. Okay, we're gonna cheat. That's what we're gonna do. Soap frosting, meet the mini whisk, other words known as like a milk frother. Could you do this for endless amounts of time with a fork? You could. You may eventually get this to feel a little bit like soap frosting, but I am not willing to do it for that long. I'm sorry. Okay, I feel like the mini whisk has helped me get somewhere, but everything keeps falling out of solution. At this point, we've been mixing for 10 minutes? Okay, new plan. What if we pop this in the fridge instead for like 2 minutes? Let's try that. Let's try that first. Last ditch. Okay, after like 15 minutes and spending a little bit of time in the freezer, it actually whipped up. I can't believe it. So I'm gonna try to get this texture to be a little bit smoother, but I kind of doubt that's gonna work. I think these melt and pour projects that end up having whipped frosting in them kind of end up maintaining this like really chunky texture, and moving it around in the piping bag is probably my best bet for getting it to be a little more cohesive without as many chunks in it. Loaded up my piping bag. Okay, it looks like it's all gonna come out. I don't know again if it's gonna break up or look really smooth, but I did try to mash it up in the bag a little bit. Okay, let's give this a whirl. I'm gonna start by putting a dollop in the middle, just like I would. Ooh, that is ugly. But that's what I would do with a real cupcake, okay? Okay, that's a little cuter. It's kind of breaking a lot. Again, never really had a melt and pour frosting that didn't break a lot. It's just kind of the territory you get when you use that. A little better there. Let's add our little decoration on the top. I mean, it's pretty cute. Let those sit and harden off to the side. Let's do our little macaron. For this, I'm gonna do do slightly thinner, I think. Just kind of squish it out like so. Pop it on. Yeah. I mean, I don't know if that mold really looks that much like a macaron. It kind of looks like a plate, but I get the point. Like, a kid's not gonna know that, you know? Let's glue our little cake pieces together. Okay, that looks pretty tasty. Nice. Let's switch out our piping tip. Let's use something a little smaller. See if we can decorate the top. Ooh, okay, little teeny tiny. Okay, admittedly, I did not make that look very good. It probably could have looked good, but I didn't do it. This could look good though. Let me do a little on the top of here. Cute. Okay, admittedly, this is pretty cute. Now, I don't think this melt and pour will set very hard. It will be hard enough so that you could touch it like I'm doing now, but if you push too hard, it's going to dent, it's going to smear. You could never like package something like this up, but again, it's a kid's craft kit. That's not what it's here for. You will get, you know, one use out of the cupcake itself because the frosting will be gone in a use or two, and then these bottom little soaps will probably last a good bit. They're not single use. They could be used multiple times, probably a week for little kids and their little hands. Let's squeeze some of this extra frosting out and I will do a lather test with it. Let's see what we think. Okay, lather's pretty good. Feels pretty soft. Definitely enough to cover my adult hands. So again, for kids, I feel like that would last quite some time. Yeah, really soft, really silky lather. It's real soap, which is more than I can say for some of the other child craft kits that I've tried, where they just mixed like water with some sort of a weird dry paste. This is a real melt and pour project, and it's also miniature. Let's weigh out one of the cupcakes to see how much it weighs. 23 grams or just under an ounce, 0.8 ounces. And again, we have about 7-8 ounces of soap base. So technically, you could make 7 of these probably if you wanted to do the whip soap and also wanted to have some extra decor. For me, the cupcakes are the main star of the show. They look the most purposeful and probably like the kit was very much made around them, hence the kit name Cupcake Shop. The other items, even when an adult is trying to make them, still just look like they had some extra room to put some shapes in a mold and this is what they came up with, except for the jelly. The jelly looks really good too. So the cupcakes and the jelly would be the ones that I would make more of because you do have, you know, extra raw materials here. And the fact that you could get like 7 of these is actually really nice. And you can use white frosting, pink frosting, or yellow frosting. And all of those color combinations look really good together, which is nice. Final thoughts and conclusions about this craft kit. Good things first. I actually think that the soap is good quality. And I think the instructions are extremely clear. I like that there's multiple different miniature products that you can make with the same kit, even if I feel like some of the options are a little more thrown together than others. I like the pigment of the dye. 1 to 2 drops was all you needed to get super vibrant colors. I like that the melt and pour is already pre-scored, so you know exactly how much melt and pour you need per project. The things I think could be improved upon are the amount of soap that you get. Yes, you do get to make lots of the cute miniatures, but at the end of the day, less than 8 ounces of soap in a kit that costs $25. The rebate apparently does work if you do purchase this through Amazon. I did, but from a different account, so I can't do the rebate on my phone, but it does work. So I guess it's technically $20 if you'll do the rebate. I think they could have added some fragrance. If a parent didn't want their child to have fragrance in their products, they always could just throw that away. But for most children and most people, they do enjoy a strawberry scent, a vanilla scent. It's an easy, inexpensive add to a project like this. I actually don't think you need 3 piping bags and 3 piping tips. I feel like if you were going to split this up, you really only need 1 bag and 1 tip, and then you can either wash that out or clean it out. I know that they're trying to probably keep you from doing that, but I would rather have seen the money that was used on that maybe added into a little bit more melt and pour or switched it out for fragrance. All in all, would I repurchase this? maybe. Again, $20 for a craft kit seems a little pricey, but if I had a kid that was super, super interested in soap making and it was a hobby or passion I wanted to encourage, yes, I would. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel, leave me a comment down below, and do something fun for yourself today, whether that is making some little miniature bath treats or maybe making some life-size bath treats because cupcakes, delicious. But you know, I don't really care what you do. Just do something for you, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye for now. Meow.